What's up guys, Zeenigami here, and oh man, the details for both Gear 4 Luffy and our new 6-star Sanji are out on Japan. So we have the full details about what they do. They are up on the database right now and available in the damage calculator. Warning though, Sanji is a brand new mechanic that we have never seen before, and he does not quite work properly in the database right now. Especially since, oh man, it's gonna be a tricksy little bit of fun to get Sanji to work. So we'll go over what Sanji does after Gear 4, but it is a mess to figure out how much damage he's gonna do. It's like they made it just to mess with us. So Gear 4 Luffy, remember Gear 4 Luffy is going to super evolve from Time Skip Luffy. Yes, he is a 6+ character during this upcoming Sugo Fest on Japan. If you're watching this for the May 3-year anniversary Sugo Fest, you can pull 6+ Luffy. And this is going to be the first time that you can pull a evolved 6-star character, and it's even going to be his 6+ version. You can get him from regular pulls. You can get him from a single pull, you can get him from a multi-pull, and if you do 6 multi-pulls, you're guaranteed to get Gear 4 Luffy. So 6 multi-pulls guarantees you Gear 4 Luffy. If you don't get him there, you can always get a Time Skip Luffy and evolve him yourself, or maybe you'll get lucky enough to get him without having to super evolve him. So Gear 4 Luffy looks great. I love the artwork on Gear 4 Luffy. What a guy. He has got 1600 attack. Oh man, 1600 attack. And yes, if you pull Gear 4 Luffy on these 6 multiple, he will come with max special immediately. He is a Psy Fighter Free Spirit character, so Time Skip Luffy is going to change from a blue character into a yellow character. That means he's probably going to use the yellow skull in order to evolve him to his 6+ version, but we'll have to see once he comes out in order to check. But it's probably going to use the yellow skull to evolve him to his yellow Fighter Free Spirit character. He's got 5 orbs, 1600 attack, 3,380 hit points, and 400 recovery. His captain ability is basically just like Time Skip Luffy. He boosts the attack of fighter characters by 2.5 times, and then if you use his special, he will boost the attack of fighter type characters by 4 times instead. Now this is unique for each Luffy, so just like Time Skip Luffy, if you have 2 Luffys and use only one of their specials, one Luffy will have a 2.5 times attack special, a captain, and the other will have a 4 times attack captain. Now what Gear 4 also does is Gear 4 also reduces damage received by 56% for those 3 turns. So he is basically a smoker special added on to his if you activate his special. Now this damage reduction does stack with all other damage reductions. This 56% damage reduction stacks with a second Luffy. So if you use 2 Gear 4 Luffys, you're going to have 80% damage reduction for all 3 turns. And if you use another damage reducer, such as Perona or Ivankov, then you will also reduce that damage. So if you use Gear 4 Luffy and then use Ivankov's special, you will reduce your damage by 90% for 2 turns and heal with Ivankov's special, and then have another turn of 80% damage reduction. And the reason it's 54 is because the number 54 sounds like can be read as Gumutsu, and that sounds like Gumu. That's why 56 for can be Gumutsu, which sounds almost like Gumu. Not 54, 56. His special ability makes basically any non-quick orb except for block orbs. He'll make strength, dex, int, Psi, Tandem, and Recovery orbs count as matching orbs for Fighter and Free Spirit characters. So for Fighter and Free Spirit characters, you will basically have a matching orb more than 6 out of 7 times. Alright, 6 out of 7, your odds are 6 out of 7 that you're going to have a matching orb. And if you have orb rate matching up, is going to be even higher. So you're probably going to have matching orbs on all your characters. And if they are a blue character, you are guaranteed matching orbs as long as you don't have a block orb. So red, green, yellow, purple, tandem, and recovery orbs will all count as matching orbs for fighter and free spirit characters for 3 turns, and he will deal 200 times his attack as typeless damage to one enemy. And yes, that means he'll deal 320,000 damage to one enemy. That is a huge damage boost. 320,000 damage. Excellent. And that is for 3 turns. So he is going to be a good orb manipulator, basically. If you use him as a sub, as a captain, his captain ability increases your damage insanely good, just like Time Skip Luffy. But instead of for free spirit characters, he now works with fighter characters. You can see his special here. Let me turn down the volume before it goes crazy. In fact, we should be okay. Shouldn't get in trouble with this music. So you can see the animation for Luffy's special. It looks pretty sweet, and there are a few new features you'll see on this Luffy. Is that when he transforms into Gear 4 Luffy, you'll notice there is a counter now. So there is now a transformation counter on a character. This is something that I would love to see active on Cavendish, who also transforms. And something that I would like to also see on specials that count turns, like Time Skip Luffy special that is active for 3 turns. Even though Time Skip Luffy doesn't transform, I would like to see that 3-turn timer. So even if like buffs are cleared, you can still get that attack boosted timer, something like that. Luffy, you can see here, pretty cool. He bounces. He's got steam coming off of his character icon. Recovery orbs count as matching. All very, very good stuff. Also that huge damage burst whenever he attacks one poor little Kobe with that. For Luffy, here's an example team of Luffy going through the X-Drake Coliseum. Yeah, it's X-Drake Coliseum for the Gear 4 Luffy team that they use, just using Koala special and both Luffy specials to burst against the Gladius. Koala for the fighter type boost. They are using also the new secret Hancock. This is the 3-year anniversary Hancock. Based on our calculations, this 3-year anniversary Hancock should be a 1.75 times free spirit type booster. We don't know what her stats are yet. She should have around 1300 attack and is definitely an int character, an int free spirit fighter. And will at least boost attack of free spirit characters of 1.75. We don't know if she does anything else yet, but that's based on these screenshots, we can tell that much. You can see here when they're fighting against X-Drake, still 1 turn left on both Luffy specials, using Hancock special to boost free spirit by 1.75, using Ideo to double orb boost, does 4.79 million damage to X-Drake in a single turn. That's some pretty good stuff. Takes him down, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. She also heals. Oh, does she heal? I guess she does. There's a poison. Ah, she heals for some amount of her recovery, probably. Heals for some kind of percentage of her recovery. And that's all the details about the... Gear 4 Luffy is not an effect that lasts forever. Just like in the anime and the manga, Gear 4 Luffy, after his special wears off, gets weak. Oh, Gear 4 Luffy is not a permanent transformation. Gear 4 Luffy, once the effect wears off, will bind and despair himself for a very long time. So if you use him as a sub, he will bind himself for a long time. If you use him as a captain, he will bind and despair himself for a very long time. We don't know how long it is, but it's definitely longer than 3 turns, because if it were only 3 turns, then having level 3 anti-bind, anti-despair will have no drawbacks for him. But you can see here, bad things. He will bind and despair himself for a long time. So self-bind, self-despair. If you're using Gear 4 Luffy, you want to burst things down and GTFO. He's not like Time Skip Luffy where you might want to use him earlier on and then later on. So in that regard, he is in a way worse than Time Skip Luffy. But we also have details for the new 6-star Sanji. So 6-star Sanji is, once again, great artwork for these Sanjis. Love it. Love that Sanji artwork. Once evolved, he is an int fighter powerhouse character. He has 1,500 attack, 3,200 hit points, and 350 recovery. His captain ability is the most boring fucking captain ability ever conceived for a 6-star character. Oh my goodness, Sanji's captain ability is the most boring, bland-ass thing in the universe. It is a 2.5 times attack to all characters and 1.3 times hit points to all characters. What? That's it. That's all it does. That's his captain ability. His special ability will change block and tandem orbs into matching orbs. It'll turn his orb into a matching orb, and he'll turn adjacent orbs into a matching orb. If you put him in the middle row, he'll give you at minimum 4 matching orbs. If you put him in as one of your captains, he'll give you at minimum 3 matching orbs. And he will also deal 100,000 typeless damage to all enemies and will double his own attack, and that is a type boost. So he doubles his own attack, he deals 100,000 fixed damage, and makes adjacent orbs, his own orb, and block orbs into matching orbs. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. Oh, is he block and tandem, or is it just block? I think, oh yeah, block and tandem. It's a block and tandem and adjacent and his own orb into matching orbs. It doubles his own attack and 100,000 fixed damage to all enemies. You know, that's great and all. But here's the thing. Sanji's captain ability is not just that boring 2.5 times 1.3 times health. He's got something new. He's got a second. Rip my ears. He's got a second captain ability. So here's his first active. This is his regular captain special ability. Deals 100,000 fixed damage, boosts his own attack by 2 times, changes orbs into matching orbs. Now, you notice on this Sanji, you get a second little bit of twinging. Right there, what's that? So now, and this is only available as a captain. If he is a sailor, it does not work. Only as a captain, instead of dragging up to use his special, you can drag downwards. And if you drag downwards, why? Sanji becomes a Pokemon. Sanji's Pokemon ability, why Sanji learns how to use Fly. Sanji uses Fly! He just disappears. Sanji's gone. Sanji blows himself away. It's called, the translation so far is Captain Action. Whatever global One Piece Treasure Cruise decides to translate it to, it's certainly going to be quite dumb. So Sanji uses Fly. And just like in Pokemon, Fly makes Sanji go away for 1 turn. Yes, he's super effective. I mean, yes, he takes extra damage against Thunder. But he will dodge all debuffs. He will no longer be despaired. He will no longer be binded. He will no longer be silenced. He just will dodge all debuffs. We don't know about paralysis yet, but we can assume that he also dodges things like paralysis. And then, most importantly, you actually still have your 2.5 times attack for that Sanji. So if both of these Sanjis were to jump into the air, you would still have your 2.5 times captain boost for both Sanjis. So you don't actually lose both Sanjis. You still have their captain abilities. The next turn, Sanji becomes available, just like in Fly. And he must attack this turn or we can assume he just falls back down to the ground if you don't attack this turn. It says that you must attack that next turn, or just you don't get the benefit. When he jumps into the air, his next attack is boosted by 2.5 times. So he gets an additional 2.5 times to his boost. This is not a type boost, so this actually stacks with all other boosts. And since he is a fighter powerhouse character, you could use that with a fighter type booster. You can use that with a powerhouse type booster. So if you had a Koala on your team, you can use Koala special and that would boost all your characters, and the Sanjis that are in the air will get an additional 2.5 times. And you can also jump both Sanjis on the same turn. See here against the Ambush Quest Whitebeard, both Sanjis have jumped into the air. They still have their 2.5 times attack boost. They're going to kill Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman crumbles like the little bitch boy he is. And then whenever Shanks tries to despair and silence both captains, why, he misses because they're in the air and Shanks can only see at eye level. Sanjis are ready to go. They, did I say Invasion Whitebeard? I meant Invasion Shanks. There's Invasion Whitebeard on the team. Invasion Shanks does not bind, does not despair, does not silence, does not despair. Sanjis can use their specials while in the air. You'll see both Sanjis activate both specials while in the air. If you use a Sanji special, though, it only boosts that Sanji. You cannot use both Sanji specials together. They are a type boosting special, so just like Cavendish, it only boosts himself, but he does not clear orbs like Cavendish. And he comes down from the sky, kicks ass. So Sanji is really, really unique. This is something that completely destroys every single damage calculation that we currently have for Sanji. That jumping ability is such a mess because for that turn that he's jumped, you still basically have the captain effects of both captains, but one of them is blown away, so you only can attack with 5 characters, which means you can't just go into the database and say bind one of your characters because that would get rid of their captain ability. So this actually has this Sanji even stronger as a captain ability. It's really strange. It's really weird. You would basically have no captains, but still have a captain ability active, which is something that you could not have done before. So this new jumping ability, very, very cool. And it can lead to a lot of damage, as you can see, versus the Shanks. Versus the Shanks here, they using the Nami to unsilence the Doflamingo. Sabo boost on, and Whitebeard actually is just a beat stick. You will deal 3.1 million damage. That's pretty cool. So once again, going over them, they are available in the database. You can see them right here. Gear for Luffy. All details are here. Makes strength, dex, psi, int, tandem, and recovery orbs count as beneficial. Notice note that he is a 2-turn special. Or 2-stage special. His stage 1 special, we don't actually know what the details of it are. We don't know if it only makes some orbs count as beneficial. We don't know if it just deals less damage. We don't know if it's for a shorter amount of... actually, it should still be 3 turns. Either way. Yeah, it should still be 3 turns. We don't know what changes in the stage 1 to the stage 2. Well, once we get that up, we should be able to fill that information in. Sanji. Information for Sanji is all there. But let's go look at the teams that they showed us, right? Oh, Gear 4 has a Sailor ability, I forgot. Both characters have Sailor abilities. Sanji's Sailor ability makes recovery orbs beneficial to all characters. Sweet, all characters have beneficial orbs. Recovery as beneficial orbs. And Gear 4 Luffy is completely immune to paralysis because he's made of rubber! Yo, ho, ho, he took a bite of gum gum. Gear 4 Luffy is made of rubber, and as Enel had to learn firsthand, he is immune to paralysis and lightning effects because lightning-type Pokemons are immune to paralysis. So here is the... Well, let's look at the Gear 4 Luffy team, because Gear 4 Luffy team is easier to talk about. Gear 4 Luffy are side characters. In the example team that they have right here, Gear 4 Luffy, this Hancock is an int character, but since the Hancock is not out yet, we're going to be using int Ivankov in her place, just for the type and the... just because she is an int free spirit fighter. And Sabo will be replacing our Senior Pink, because we're not using Senior Pink special at all. Isn't that nice? Beating X Drake without even having to use Senior Pink special. Like, Senior Pink is literally just here to be Senior Pink. So instead of Senior Pink, we're using Sabo to replicate Hancock's 1.5 times attack boost. These captains work just like Time Skip Luffy. Remember, you have to activate both captain abilities to have their 4 times attack boost. If you only activate one Luffy special, that's as if you use one Luffy and not the other Luffy. So one special stage 1 is as if you have 2 Luffys and you only use one of them. Special stage 2 is if you're using a Luffy. Or if you're using both Luffy specials. Sabo special on for level 1.75. Ideo special on. And... oh, this Luffy does not have a matching orb. There's actually only 5 matching orbs for this team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matching orbs. And we'll see the damage is pretty close. 479, 472. So that's pretty close. Sabo boosting free spirits. Ivankov just being the koala that would have Sabo special. Senior Pink special would not get done. Good damage. Excellent, great damage. And just to check, on the previous stage against the Gladius, or against the Gladius. Yeah. I haven't messed it up yet. They're using both Gear 4 Luffy's and Koala. We can simulate that also. Who has matching orbs? Boop, boop, boop. 1, 2, 3. Everyone except for these two have matching orbs. So we have matching orbs here except for here. Both Luffy's and Koala, which is 139. 1 against blue. What's different? What's different? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's only a 16 hit combo. They don't even finish their attacks. They only attack with those 4 characters. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. They're ending on the Koala attack, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. They're ending on Koala. They're actually doing Sabo, Luffy, Luffy, Koala. Way to make me look wrong, dang it. So that's the order they're attacking in. Add those numbers up. It'll be close to that. So that's the example team that they have for the Gear 4 Luffy. The Sanji team actually is not going to be calculated properly in the database right now. The way that Sanji works is we currently have him as a type booster. So if you activate his level 1 special, that's as if he uses his regular special, that 2 times attack boost for himself. So level 1 Sanji special works exactly as intended. That's as if you have him just using his level 1, his regular special. So if you have Sanji as a sub, that works exactly as intended. Sanji as a sub actually with a 2 times attack boost is incorrect. You'll never use Sanji's 2 times attack boost if he's a sub. Because the level 2, the stage 2 special, which this may change once we get it working properly in the database, is that the 5 times attack multiplier assumes that Sanji has jumped into the air the previous turn and is using his own special on that turn. So with this team, just like versus the Shanks, they got all matching orbs. Sanji, Sabo, Doflamingo specials on. 2.8 million damage. Now you actually have to add on manually the damage from the second Sanji jumping into the air. So you can see this Sanji right here, 276,751 times 2.5. That's how much damage this Sanji would have dealt instead. So subtract that 276,751, add 700,000, and you'll get that 3-1 that we're looking for right here. That 315, or actually 3-2 is what we actually come out to. So Sanji Captain, Sanji jumping abilities aren't working right now. You can jump both Sanjis in the air. If both Sanjis jump in the air, they both boost themselves by 2.5 times. So this right here is as if both Sanjis have a 2.5 times attack boost that still stacks with a special, like a Koala special or any other type booster like that. You can use them with Robin, Koala. You can use them with a powerhouse attack booster, or yeah, use powerhouse attack booster, whatever you want. Some pretty good stuff. Sanji doesn't really have any drawbacks. If you're not using his jumping ability, Sanji is very boring, but that jumping ability just makes Sanji so nifty and so cool to use. It's gonna be interesting if he can dodge abilities like being blown away. That'll be interesting to see if you can have your Sanjis jump in the air, or what happens if your Sanjis jump in the air, or what happens if all your subs are blown away and you try to have your Sanjis jump in the air. What happens if these 4 characters are binded and you try to have Sanji jump in the air? Can you do that? Does that end your turn? Oh man, that's gonna be fun to play with and fun to find out exactly what happens with those Sanjis. Guys, both of these characters are going to be the new characters that are coming out in the 3-year anniversary Sugo. Remember that if you do 4 multi-pulls, you'll be guaranteed to get gear. If you do 6 multi-pulls, you'll be guaranteed to get gear 4 Luffy with max special. If you do 3 multi-pulls, you'll be guaranteed to get some legendary. And if you do 9 multi-pulls, you're guaranteed to get a legendary with max specials. If you want to do pulls, go for it. I'll probably be doing some pulls myself. If you like this, you can go to patreon.com/Zeenigami and subscribe, or check us out live on twitch.tv/Zeenigami. And once again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and y'all stay beautiful.